In the previous video, what we saw was that if you had a 3-digit number, okay, and you're not allowed repetition, then, and you're allowed to use the numbers 0 to 10, the digit 0 to 10, or 0 to 9 rather, you would have 10 choices initially, then 9, then 8. And so multiplying them together, you'd have 10 times 9 times 8, which is 720. So there are 720 different possible permutations in that problem. Now, we're going to generalize permutations in this video, and I'm going to use this as a key example, okay? Because ultimately, this is exactly the same as 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, so what I'm referring to here is that if I just put these numbers back onto the top and the bottom, they both effectively cancel each other out. If you go back to when we looked at factorials earlier. But how I want to write this now is that I could write 720 as, well, on the numerator I've got 10 factorial, and in the denominator I have 7 factorial. Okay, so what we have is, and how we could write that is 10 factorial over, well, 7 is 10 take away 3, so we could write it as 10 take away 3 factorial. Now, if you remember back to the context of the problem, the 3 here is referring to the fact that I wanted a 3-digit number. Okay, I was given 3 choices. So it's like on a safe, you have those 3 numbers that you can choose from 0 to 9. So we can write this as what is referred to as 10p3, okay? Or you can write that as 10p3, like that, okay? So what it means is when choosing are objects from n, the number of possible permutations is nPr, or either of these formats, nPr, and in general it's written as n factorial over n minus r factorial. Okay, so thinking back to the original problem, I had three numbers to choose, okay? So I needed to choose 3 objects from 10 possible numbers, okay? So I had the numbers 0 to 10, or 10 possible digits. So the number of possible permutations is, in this case, nPr, or in the context of our problem, 10p3. Now, you should be able to get this number straight from the calculator. So, just grabbing the calculator there. nPr is the button below the delete button on your calculator. So it's just above your time symbol. So if you type in 10, shift and then times to get the p, and then 3, you get 720, okay? Which is exactly what we had here. So we can use this to solve problems of this nature. We're going to see an example of it in the next video.